What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Be Active Life, and today I got another video for you. I know it's been a while since I've made one, but wanted to take a look at the Esbit 3-piece aluminum cook set. I want to give you guys my brief opinion on it, share a couple thoughts on it, and just go over the system a little bit. And I also want to do a comparison between another Esbit solid fuel stove. So without explaining any further, let's get right into the video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Alright you guys, so we are taking a look at this Esbit's aluminum cook set, and I wanted to share this kit because it's something that I picked up for some day hikes and also some emergency kits that I have. And basically I've never had a solid fuel stove before, and I wanted to try it out. I've heard a few people talk about it and recommend it, and if you're just hiking alone without the need to boil or heat up a large amount of water and you want something durable to throw in your pack, this is a pretty good unit right here. And so what I wanted to do today is just talk about it a little bit and also do a little bit of a boil test to see how long it takes. Now what this is it's about $23 if you buy it on Amazon, and it's basically it's a 16 to, it holds about 20 ounces. I think they advertise it as 16 ounces, as you can see the intervals here, but you could get about 20, maybe a little bit more ounces, so roughly 2 cups. And it comes with the pot, the lid for the pot, as well as a little bit of a pot stand slash solid fuel holder. You can see in there that's where the solid fuel goes. And then it comes in a mesh stuff sack. It's not the greatest quality, but it works. It's not too heavy. And then I believe it comes with the 4-ounce fuel, solid fuel pieces. These are really small, and it's hard to get a boil going by using any less than 3 of these at a time. So I do not recommend these tablets if you're going to buy this stove. What I recommend you do from the get-go when you buy it is pick up some of these half-ounce fuel tablets, or I believe they are 14 grams, I believe, or 15 grams. These are the larger fuel tablets, and you can actually use one of these to boil 2 cups of water fairly quickly. But the whole system itself, without the fuel, so if you just carry around the pot stand and fuel holder, the pot as well as the lid weighs about 7.5 ounces or 215 grams. So it's relatively lightweight, and as I said it's anodized aluminum, so it's really solidly built and it's durable. You can just throw it in your pack. And I believe the weight is with the stuff sack. Stuff sack barely weighs anything, just a few grams. So what I'd like to do is do a boil test. I've used this a couple times. But before I do the boil test, one thing I want to mention about this system is that, as you can see down in there, using the solid fuel, it does leave some residue inside of there. So actually putting this inside of your pot, I don't know if this would matter to you, but to some people it's going to leave a residue in your pot as well. I don't know if you can see in there, but I can see some traces of burnt fuel or possibly dirt. So I'm just going to get some of that out real quick. Clean it up a little bit. But that's something you might want to think about if you are taking this hiking or on a backpacking trip. You're going to see that residue get in there, or possibly dirt from the stands underneath this. So just something to think about. Another thing you can do too is these little stands here add a little bit of weight. You could actually unscrew those, and if you wanted to, you could just take those off and you would save a little bit of weight. Not much, but you would have to set this on top of something to still allow airflow. But another cool thing about this is that it's all self-contained, because basically you put your solid fuel tablet inside of this, right in the middle there, right there, and you would pour your water inside of the pot, sit the pot directly on it, and the way that it goes together, it actually acts as a somewhat of a wind filter. So it's self-contained. If you wanted to block out even more wind and block out that open part there, you could bring a wind filter along, or you could block it off with something else. But that's one cool thing about this being all together. It's lighter than the other cooking kits that I have set up, so that's why I got this one, because it's all self-contained. I can take it, if if I'm going on a short hike, or if I'm going on a backpacking trip and it's just myself, I don't need to boil a lot of water. I can do it with this kit, and it's all together. You can store your fuel inside, which is great, as well as a lighter and other things that you need. So it's kind of a cool system. Now, one thing that I don't like so much about it, or that you should keep in mind, is that most of the time, if you're going to cook something like a Mountain House meal, it usually takes somewhere around 16 ounces of water, maybe 1.5 to 2 cups. So that's pretty much the capacity of this pot. So if you're going to boil this water or heat it up to almost boiling with one fuel cube, let's say you eat your dinner with a cup of coffee or a cup of hot tea or hot cocoa, whatever it may be, you're going to have to basically burn 2 cubes, or heat up another cube if you wanted to have a cup of coffee or something to drink with your meal. So just keep that in mind. If you use a smaller pot like this, if you're cooking a Mountain House meal or a dehydrated meal, you're going to have to boil some water twice. But that's one of the negatives about it. But as I said, if you use these little fuel tablets that are 4 grams, I did a few tests on these, and you have to basically use 3 of these to even get 1.5 to 2 cups of water to a boil. So if you plan on using these small ones that come with this kit, make sure you're bringing at least 3 fuel tablets per meal that you're cooking, or per pot of water that you want to boil. But what I want to do is test it with these larger solid fuel cubes. Again, let me read how many ounces these are. These are the 1/2 ounce cubes. I believe they are 14 grams. So these are 14 gram 1/2 ounce cubes. So what I'm going to do is open it up. I want to do a boil test with these. Now you can see these packages come self-contained, or the larger cubes. So we're just going to open one of them up. Open up the little foil wrapper. The cool thing about the foil wrapper and it being self-contained inside of this packaging is that you can, they'll stay for longer. You don't have to worry about them going bad over time or getting moisture in them, anything like that. So now we are in a well ventilated area. I want to mention that I'm boiling this indoors, but there's a window open, so it's ventilated. And also, one thing to note about these cubes is that they really stink. If you are going to be using these a lot, just keep in mind they're gonna stink. It smells like fish bait, basically. If I had to describe the smell, it smells like power bait. If you've ever been fishing, it has that kind of smell. But I want to boil basically 2 cups of water, cold water. So let's pour 2 cups in here. 16 ounces. Let's see. We are almost 16 ounces. Let me put a little more water in. And we'll go ahead and do a boil test. Now, another thing I want to mention real quick is that if you carry wet fire with you, these little wet fire package cubes, you can actually use these. I don't know how long it would take with just 1 cube to boil that water or heat it up, but if you ran out of solid fuel cubes, if you also carry these wet fires, you can actually use those as well. And another thing is that I mentioned the residue, but you just have to keep in mind that it's going to create some black smoke a little bit, and it is going to leave some residue on your pot. So I'm going to go ahead and light this cube. Get it going. Might take a second to get it lit. Just give it a second. Alright, and it is starting to go. So we'll put the pot on there. Put the lid on. We want to try and get this to a rolling boil and see how long it takes. So let me reset my stopwatch here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start. And I'll probably speed up the video at this point just so you guys don't have to watch and wait for the whole length of the boil. So go ahead and let this boil for a bit. and I will fast forward it and get back to you guys when it's ready. Alright, so we're at 8:10 in, and I did just hear it starting to boil. I can hear the bubbles now. And we are at a boil. Now if you want to wait for a full-on rolling boil, I'll wait another 30 seconds or so and it'll be there. Now we're at 9 minutes and it is boiling. So there you have it. This is the Esbit 3-piece aluminum cook set. Now you can see how much of the cube is left. I'd say probably 15%, maybe 20% of it. I don't know. Hard to estimate. But so you're looking at, if you're going to boil 2 cups of water, you're looking at least, and keep in mind we're indoors. It's probably 75, 80 degrees in here right now. And that took 9 minutes to get it just barely boiling. So if you want to boil a little bit less water, it might take quicker or shorter period of time. If you are outside in colder temperatures, I'm sure it's going to take even longer to boil. So something to keep in mind if you're going with a solid fuel stove. One thing I really do like is the insulated handles on here are interlocking, so they don't flop around. You know, if I shake the pot, they don't move. And also you can interlock them together so they stay put. You can hold it on top of something. It's just really sturdy and a nice design. If you wanted to do a lighter weight system, one thing you could do if you wanted to go the titanium route is buy one of these Esbit titanium stoves, the solid fuel stand, and use something like the Tokes titanium. This is the 450 milliliters, which is 4 inches across, and it fits fine on this stove. You don't want to go anything smaller in diameter, but you could go a little bigger with this stove. So if you wanted a lighter weight system, to use this solid fuel, you could use this as well. But that'll make another video. I'm going to put together another cook kit that I'm going to be testing out. You guys might see in future videos. So stay tuned for that. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Glad to make another video. Hopefully there'll be more coming down the way pretty soon here, and I hope you guys are still watching. So thanks a lot, you guys. Take care, and if you have any questions, feel free to post a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. See you later, guys. Peace.